Through this lens, we have expanded on this idea, and our passion grew from an understanding what we have been taught before stars that was distorted by a Eurocentric point of view. This presentation is a reflection of what we have learned about and how the contemporary social justice issues presented through social media have a connection to our past. The next couple of slides are by Afia. So we picked Marcus Garvey as the first person that we wanted to talk about because we felt like a lot of the things he was doing in the past have now come back to our present. We see it in our present. Marcus Garvey was born on August 17, 1887. He was born in St. Anne's Bay, Jamaica, and he was a Jamaican political leader and civil rights activist. Okay, the Black Star Line was a shipping company that provided transportation for African Americans and also encouraged trade between Black businesses in America and Africa. In 1922, operations of the Black Star Line was suspended, and that was the end of the Black Star Line. Garvey's newspaper, The Negro World, was a huge success because many people read this newspaper, which was very informative. It kept the African American community updated on what was going on in America and Africa, which also shared his message of Black nationalism. The Negro Factory Association was created by Garvey in 1919. It was established to create Black businesses. Garvey believed that African Americans should have separate business in a separate nation in the U.S. So this association was one step forward that he took towards accomplishing this goal. The Universal Negro Improvement Association was created by Garvey in Jamaica with the goal of uniting the African diaspora and eventually sending them back to Africa. If he could not send them all back to Africa, at least he wanted to create a separate Black nation in America, as I said before. By creating the UNIA, Garvey was able to spread the message of Black nationalism, which is composed of three aspects: unity, pride in the African culture, and complete autonomy. So here we have the leadership or the program of the UNIA, and then now what we see today as Black Lives Matter. So the UNIA is, as I said before, was based on the Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism, and the Black Lives Matter is based on nationalism and it fights dehumanization of the anti-Black racism. So the difference between the two organizations is that Black Lives Matter aims to fight against the dehumanization of anti-Black racism, while the UNIA was in favor of separation, like I said, that's the Pan-Africanism. So Black Lives Matter is a chapter-based organization with chapters in different locations. So between the chapters, there's no set form of leadership. While Marcus Garvey was the defining leader of the UNIA. So that's the difference between the two organizations. And the reason why this was so successful was because Garvey was able to gather huge groups of Africans under his leadership. While discussing this topic and slide, within the group there was a debate as to which form of leadership was more effective. Some people believe that Garvey's was taken more seriously due to his form of leadership, but others believe that Black Lives Matter's approach allows anyone to join the group and come up with their own actions without harming the overall organization. So some people were saying that Black Lives Matter, since across the nation anybody can have a protest under this movement, it was better because there's no face to the name, but others are saying that that was the issue, that there's no face to the name, so nobody can really, it's not really effective because nobody's going to take it seriously because there's no face to the name. And that's why Marcus Garvey, they believe, was very effective. That was the debate in that classroom.
In class, we chose Malcolm X because he was a very different kind of leader. He was a little bit more forceful, a little bit more in your face, as opposed to kind of just being very calm, and his attitude was by any means necessary. Born Malcolm Little in Nebraska, his mother was half white because her mother was raped by a white man, and she hated her complexion, and she wanted to marry as dark a husband as possible so that her children his father was an outspoken Baptist minister and a strong supporter of the Black nationalist Marcus Garvey, and his civil rights activism prompted death threats from white supremacist group Black Legion, also the KKK, and it forced their family to relocate twice before Malcolm's 4th birthday. In 1929, their Lansing home was burned down, and their father was killed in an accident where his body was laid over trolley tracks, and his body was split in two. The family suspected that it was the white supremacist group Black Legion. However, the police ruled it as an accident, and they suspected their family of, burning their own house down and just doing all of it themselves. Louise, his mother, suffered a breakdown, and she was sent to the mental institution while the family was split up. Malcolm X had so much power that he could command groups of people with just his voice or with a powerful speech, and he had a huge following. And so the problem was the government was a little bit afraid of him just because he had a huge following. And so this is a video. So we pulled up a video from the Malcolm X movie, the documentary, to show how much power and control